right.
So I've got a lot of facts running in my head, and one of them is from the 1863 census to the 2000 census, the village of Cambridge changed by 5. So
okay.
we don't grow and we don't shrink.
Right.
I don't know, the newest house in Cambridge was probably built 1960.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have to decide about, are we going to build the porch or not? If I'm going to buy that house, it has a porch.
Right.
Therefore I have it.
And therefore I love my porch. Have porch, we'll love my porch.
Yeah.
So do you think there would be people who in Cambridge who might have odd bits of porch around, and how would we get people in? What would be your advice to get people involved in the porch pieces? And I'd be really interested to have more porch talks.
Yeah. I don't know how to get things or find things, but I know they exist.
Right.
Christine Hoffer at the Rice Mansion, as you walk up, they've got that big huge porch with a beautiful railing. 6 years ago that railing wasn't there.
Right.
She went down in the basement and found a whole bunch of things, put it up, figured out what was missing, and had somebody make
the rest.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah, because I suspect that there will be bits of porch in basements or barns or tucked away.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how to, ask people to have a look and see if they need it anymore, or if they'd let us use it or borrow it.
I don't know. When we renovated this house, this kitchen here was a reasonably sized room and 2 smaller rooms, one of which had a beautiful old cupboard, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, and we tried to take it apart gently, but it ended up in pieces. But somebody found out about it, and rather than wait for me to have a yard sale, they just came and said, we'd like to buy those pieces.
So it's kind of word of mouth.
And it sat in their house for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and they just turned it back into a cupboard. I think that's what's probably happened to a lot of porch material. People have already started collecting. I don't know if it's porches, but it might be. Dave Sale, or maybe it's Sales. There's an I in it. S-A-I-L-E. Maybe there's an S on the end of it. He lives in a place called South Cambridge, and he does floor restoration.
Okay.
And it started as stripping outside porches. And if you can see the floor in that room through the door there.
Oh, yeah.
He redid that floor.
Right.
So he does it inside. He's brought in to do every renovation in Cambridge.
Okay.
He took our old windows. We had the old-fashioned windows, that beautiful double hung, 2/2, but on a day like this you couldn't raise it because it's swollen so much.
Oh, okay.
So we got some of the old-looking but brand new architectural replacement ones. He walked out of here with 37 windows from 1853.
Right.
Now, I'm sure he might have, he puts them in his barn. Now, he may have
the odd bit of porch, so we could...
Or no projects where that is going on.
I must talk to him.
Yes.
Or I mean, do you know him well, or you just...
Yeah, he and I played on the same soccer team in high school.
You wouldn't give him a call and tell him about the project?
Sure,
me?
Sure.
And just make an introduction, because I always think, I think it was Christine Hoffer that suggested that Jesse call you.
Probably.
And there's like this, it's quite interesting of how...
I can certainly
that
do
would
it.
be so kind.
Or, honestly, he is the sweetest guy in the world. You could call him up and say, hey, I was talking to Ken Gottry, and he'd go, oh, sure. What can I do for you?
Okay, I'll do that, yeah.
That's one of the great things in Cambridge, great or bad. In mathematics, I was a math teacher. There's these laws of associativity, that A equals B, B equals C, therefore A must equal C. It works here in Cambridge. Dave likes Ken, Ken likes you, therefore Dave likes you.
Okay, excellent.
Now, it also means if Dave thinks I'm scumbag,
and
I like you, you don't stand a chance,
so
no matter how good you are.
I won't go shop in the street across the road and start talking about
East End of town. I've never been there before in my life.
And as for coming from Salem and baseball, what's that elbow thing?
Yeah.
That you said they throw an elbow? Is that a...
When you're playing certain sports, boys typically, like as you're running by, they'll just throw the elbow and hit you in the stomach.
Okay.
And then hope the referee wasn't watching.
Right, yeah.
You see it in the World Cup where they trip people. In our sports, we hit them with an elbow. When you're playing basketball, somebody shoots the ball and everybody's looking up. That's when you hit the guy. He bends over, and therefore you can jump up and get the rebound. You know.
Great sportsmanship.
You do it.
Yeah.
During the winter time, like an old barn like that, we have a basketball hoop in there, so you could play during the winter. Well, the kids from Salem and Hoosick Falls would come down too, and you'd play. And there's no referee there, so yeah, the elbow might hit the nose or the eye or whatever.
Black eyes and bruised ribs and.
But then afterward, you go ice skating together, so it's an interesting way of life.
So, do young people use porches today? How do people, generally, if you had an outdoor front porch, and what time would I see most people on their porches? Is there an evening time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yep. They're home after dinner.
So you guys have dinner early? What?
Yeah, 6 o'clock is considered dinner time.
Right.
Yeah. Young kids in Cambridge like to coagulate somewhere. Depending on whether you live in the village and have a house, that's one thing. But there are several little parks with benches. 3 in the morning, you can see 10 kids age 12 to 18 hanging out on a park bench. They just want to sit and talk. I mean, some people think, oh, they're doing drugs, they're probably going to rape the next person walking by. They're probably just being typical kids, just talking about the stuff you and I talked about a few decades ago.
So I was kind of, maybe I was just thinking it'd be interesting to take a porch, the travelling porch, somewhere, where we could get a whole bunch of, they could coagulate on the porch for, young contemporary, just to find out what it's like to grow up in.
Right through those trees, so it's the next block, there's Hubbard Hall. Right behind Hubbard Hall is where on Sunday from 10 to 2 they have the farmers market.
Right.
You just park your porch in that parking lot or along that street.
People would be curious, do you think?
Somebody will come, somebody else will come and watch you talking to them, somebody else will come and watch. Well, what are you doing over there? What are you talking? That's not the way it was, and all of a sudden there's 6 people on the porch correcting the first story.
So you think it's got potential for talking point, because I want, I really do want it to be a porch talking